Good afternoon and a warm welcome. You're watching Mirror Now. I'm Grihatul Siddiqui. Let's get you the top story that we are following at this hour, and this is to do with the visit of K. Chandrasekhar Rao in the national capital. In fact, after Tamil Nadu Chief Minister K. Stalin, he is another southern satrap who is in Delhi. So Telangana Chief Minister and TRS Chief K. Chandrasekhar Rao is in the national capital today. Though there is no agenda which has been made public, it is being seen as yet another attempt by key opposition leaders to build an anti-BJP front ahead of 2024 general elections. Now remember, KCR recently visited Maharashtra and met with the Chief Minister of the state, Mr. Uddhav Thackeray, and also with NCP chief Sharad Pawar. And he's also been very vocal recently about what he called were anti-people policies of the Bharatiya Janata Party. In fact, he's also said that he is working with political and election strategists, Mr. Prashant Kishore, to bring about changes in the country. In fact, let's talk about the significance of the KCR visit in the national capital. And to discuss this further, I'm joined on the broadcast by Mr. Dinakar Lanka of the BJP. Mr. Kingshuk Nag, who is an author and senior journalist, also joins me on the broadcast. And Mr. Krishank Mane of the TRS is also with me right here on Mirror Now. Mr. Mane, I will first of all begin with you. We will not borderline on any conjecture. Just take us through what is on agenda when it comes to KCR visiting the national capital.
Grihaji, Honorable Chief Minister KCR ji has been visiting Delhi quite often since a couple of months, since 6 months, I should say. Right from the previous season, the farmers' produce, the paddy, has been had a lot of restrictions with regards to the procurement process, and we have been demanding for a one paddy, one procurement policy. Right now, yes, this juncture when I should also tell you that our parliamentarians are protesting while the session is on. And in fact, the entire cabinet of Telangana, all the legislators of Telangana Rashtra Samiti, state corporations, chairman, district elected representatives, leaders of different platforms are coming.
All right, we seem to have lost that link with Mr. Mane. Mr. Dinakar Lanka, I'll come to you now. While we, get back and reconnect with Mr. Mane and let him complete his point, this one argument that is very much underlined is also the fact that Mr. K. Chandrasekhar Rao is trying to actually build that entire opposition front against the centre, considering his past comments against the BJP and its policies. Your word on that, sir.
So these kind of governments are concerned. Prior to 2019, what happened? We have seen that it is very much evident. People of our nation is very clearly gave mandate on behalf of the BJP. Blessing the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the people across the country, we have given massive majority in 2019 election, and whether it is in 2023 or 24, wherever it in coming elections, definitely we are going to perform much better than 2019, irrespective of any kind of governments and coalitions against to the BJP. But as for the source of information from different media sources, KCR to Delhi, along with his wife, daughter, and his family members. Some media channels are telling that medical tests are ahead in Delhi. That's why he went. Some media sections are telling that to meet the leaders to form the federal front as per the direction of Prashant Kishore. And his last priority, of course, to meet the union ministers. That also came into the float across the media section. But KCR went to Delhi in a special flight with his family members. It is nothing but using the public money, government exchequer for their family and private political leads, and rather than the governance for the people of Telangana. As far as KCR is concerned, he lost trust on his governance by the people of Telangana, and KCR lost credibility, most particularly his defeat in Dubaka, Huzurabad, as well as GHMC elections. And he immediately shifted his stance and his voice against the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, BJP, because he already gets feared about the BJP. BJP performance is very clear and indicative to form government in whether it is 2022 or 2023, whenever the elections held in Telangana. These kind of things, whatever he is trying, definitely he knows that he will get failed, but he always wants to try to divert his failures among the general public of the Telangana. As far as the procurement of paddy is concerned, hard-boiled rice, the regulations as well as the restrictions, he does know very well. FCI in last season itself, when the KCR went to the Delhi, he met the FCI officials. They told very clearly about the problem of hard-boiled rice, and he came to the Telangana. He openly told to the people of the Telangana, farmers of Telangana, don't produce the hard-boiled rice because it is very problematic. Go for the alternative crops. It is the failure of the state government. He is unable to convince the people of Telangana to go for alternative crops. His failures, he
Well,
wants
Mr.
to...
Lanka, a protest has been planned by the TRS leadership on the 11th of April, right here in the national capital. Kinshuk, I'll come to you now. The fact that, Mr. Lanka there was making a point on paddy procurement. This has been a bone of contention, ever since, and this has been much talked about. My earlier guest, Mr. Mane, was also talking about the fact that meeting with TRS MPs is also in the pipeline. This is something that is high on agenda. However, KCR has sought a meeting with the Prime Minister of the country. He has clearly missed out on meeting Mr. Piyush Goyal. That is not happening. So just can you throw light on this particular aspect as well?
I think Mr. KCR has come to Delhi with a multiplicity of objectives. The biggest objective is to get publicity out of the meeting. The fact that he has come to Delhi has made TV channels like you run after him and show him on TV. That is good news for him. The other factor is also the fact that elections are close by, national elections are close by, therefore he wants publicity. So these are the reasons. And then the paddy thing is also there. So basically elections are coming, and therefore when elections come, the parties have to become active. KCR had won the last election,
Kinshuk,
but
the fact that his visit is right after Mr. M.K. Stalin visiting the national capital. He has met with various leaders of the opposition, and there is ample talk about he also cobbling up a credible opposition against the centre, considering his words against the BJP in the past. What do you have to say about this?
Yeah, he will also try to build a say against the BJP. That is the point I was coming to. The fact was that earlier he did not have an anti-BJP stand, but now he has a very strong anti-BJP stand because he has realized that BJP is not on his side. Earlier he thought that BJP was on his side and he could ally with them. But now it is very clear to him that he will have to fight the elections against the BJP. And as BJP is strengthening itself in Telangana, therefore he has to take an anti-BJP stand. And so that it becomes a very credible voice, he has to visit Delhi so that he'll get national TV and coverage, and that will make people sure that he's really anti-BJP. Today, up till now, people in Telangana don't know on whose side he is. That is the point. So therefore he's coming, and this sort of things will increase now that the elections are...
Krishank, I'll let you come in here. The fact that this is one aspect of looking at this entire visit, and the fact that so much is being said about, obviously Mr. KCR cobbling up an anti-BJP front. However, what happens to the stand that Aam Aadmi Party really has, made against the TRS in the past, and also gone ahead and called KCR, let's say, words like arrogant, in the past. So that also has been the case. So if we talk about this entire conjecture of KCR trying to actually have an alliance of the opposition parties, where does it stand along with the Aam Aadmi Party?
See, one thing, Grihaji, let me make it clear that in 2014, we've contested opposite both the national parties, be it Bharatiya Janata Party or even the Congress Party. Bharatiya Janata Party got 4 MLAs. And then later on, in 2018, we have sized it down to literally one MLA. Only one MLA Bharatiya Janata Party could manage to get the numbers. So that explains how seriously we've always competed against Bharatiya Janata Party or the Congress Party. But it has become a habit for many people to tag on regional parties as B teams to both the national parties. This has been the arrogance of the national parties and some trumpet blows of theirs too. Our serious concern today is the farmers' produce, which we've been talking for 6 months.
Okay.
We've been raising. We've met Mr. Piyush Goyal half a dozen times. The clarity or the double-tongued statements of Bharatiya Janata Party is quite exposed. The government of India says they do not want to procure the parboiled rice. The Bharatiya Janata Party leaders, their parliamentarians, they come here and they say that, they will buy the entire grain, whereas Piyush Goyal ji says, no, they will not buy. So this confusion has caused the suffering of the Telangana farmers, and that is why KCR ji has picked up this issue very seriously, that we find a solution till we get a one paddy, one procurement policy. And the entire government of Telangana is coming to national capital to protest this with the double-tongued statements of the Bharatiya Janata Party. That is why we
So
are
is
calling
that
them
why
as
you are
the
bypassing Mr. Piyush Goyal altogether and just meeting with the Prime Minister this time? Because obviously all of the claims of the TRS they really fell on deaf ears, as you are explaining to us. Is that the reason?
I mean, we've seen the arrogance of Piyush Goyal ji. He is speaking on the quality of the Telangana farmers' produce when decades Food Corporation of India has procured from the Telangana farmers' produce. During the COVID crisis also, Telangana's grain was sent to many states during the crisis. And today, suddenly, he speaks about the quality of Telangana's grain. And not only that, he is, arrogantly speaking against our ministers that why are you coming so many times to Delhi? We will come a number of times. For our farmers or for Telangana's demands, we will continue to come, be it KCRG or the government of Telangana. Definitely we will come and we will raise our issues till the government of India doesn't hear to our demands.
Yeah. Can I respond?
Okay, and no word there about cobbling up an alliance, anti-BJP front.
The politics is part and parcel of it. I mean, there is no urgency of electoral alliances. Sometimes it happens in after post-poll or even before that. But right now, the priority of government of Telangana is the farmers' issues. We've already given a deadline. Today, the protests are going on in Mandal headquarters after 24 hours, because tomorrow it is Babu Chivanram Ji's Jain. We have given an entire program list, and on 11th, we will be there in Delhi too. Yeah.
All right. Mr. Dinakar Lanka, Kinshuk Nag, and also Krishank Mani, thank you so much for joining me on the broadcast. So discussion on the matter of K. Chandrasekhar Rao really visiting the national capital, possibly a 3-day visit. We have to wait and watch if at all he gets an audience with the Prime Minister.